On Friday nights, we'd have the traditional Shabbat dinner. We'd have matzo ball soup, and we'd have wine and challah, ceviche, or we'd have benekes.
How does your Mexican and Latina identity intersect with this Jewish identity you have?
In Mexico, it's obviously a really Catholic country, but there's a really tight-knit Jewish community. With Mexican food, speaking Spanish, my mom, when I was little, she'd speak to my sister and I in Spanish, and my dad would speak to us in English. So I don't have a first language, they're both my first languages. On Friday nights, we'd have the traditional Shabbat dinner. We'd have matzo ball soup, and we'd have wine and challah, but we'd also have the Mexican food. So we'd have ceviche, or we'd have benekes, or other traditional foods from that. So it was naturally the two cultures kind of mixing. It's kind of put me in the space of otherness, because I've always felt like I was too Jewish for the Mexicans and too Mexican for the Jews.
Your dad is a rabbi, your mom's from Mexico. How did they feel about you being a witch?
So I as I say, came out of the broom closet when I was 12 after a month-long Jewish sleepaway camp that I was sent to and was miserable at. And as I continued my practice with it, I think they started to realize that I was serious about it. My dad's been very open and very understanding, and I think my mom has had a little bit of a harder time with it, just because in Mexico it has a negative connotation. Culturally it's different, and being accused of witchcraft can really ruin your reputation. It's not something that you brag about. So for her, it was kind of cultural conditioning where she had to come around to recognizing that for me, it's a nature-based path that connects me with myself and energy and the earth and other people, and not something that's harmful.
So you realized you were a witch during the time of your bat mitzvah, right?
Yes.
So what was that like?
Being 12/13 in middle school in general is hard, and a bat mitzvah in itself is hard. It's 9 months of studying, and my dad was really hard on my twin sister, and I had b'nai mitzvah, so a combined ceremony. I recognized that the beliefs that I was being initiated into through this coming of age Jewish ceremony wasn't something that aligned with what I believed. It was probably one of the most difficult things I ever did, just because I was so young and I didn't really have any guidance. Witchcraft wasn't really a thing people talked about still.
What advice do you have for other young people as they navigate these intersections?
I say finding a community, even if it's one or two people that are understanding and empathetic and know the shoes that you're in. I love using social media for that, Twitter and Instagram are lifesavers. I've met some of my best friends through there. But finding people that make you feel less alone, I think is really important, because we're all going through stuff and we're not meant to do this by ourselves.